watching Twin Tiers Evening News with Jeff Androlonis and Alexa Olson. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, WVTT proudly presents Twin Tiers Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
Welcome back from the inauguration.
Thanks,
I'm Jeff Androlonis. The big story tonight on Twin Tiers Evening News. Emergency personnel say they've responded to reports of a shooting in Texas. Several people wounded at a Houston area college campus. Right now the report is that 3 are wounded. Police and ambulance personnel on the scene this afternoon at a Lone Star College System campus in North Harris County. At least 2 people being cared for on the scene. 1 was being placed into an ambulance. We'll have more information later tonight. Alexa?
Well, Jeff, on a lighter note, it was a jam-packed inauguration day in the nation's capital with speeches, parades, music, and dancing, all to celebrate the start of President Obama's second term. Renee Marsh has the highlights in a report from Washington, D.C.
The president, first lady, and the Bidens upheld inaugural tradition Tuesday, attending a national prayer service at Washington's National Cathedral. It's a service to pray for both men as they tackle second-term challenges.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
It was a day full of symbolism. America's first black president inaugurated publicly for a second term on the day the nation commemorates Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. One of the Bibles Obama used at the swearing-in belonged to the slain civil rights leader. And within the president's speech, a theme of civil rights and equality.
For our journey is not complete until our wives, our mothers, and daughters can earn a living equal to their efforts. Our journey is not complete until our gay brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law.
The president's inaugural speech sandwiched between poetry and music. Then, onto the parade route, where the president and first lady greeted cheering crowds, Vice President Biden doing the same. The whirlwind of a day punctuated with the official commander-in-chief ball. The question of the night, what will the first lady wear?
Michelle Obama.
Miss Obama opted for a long red Jason Wu gown, the same designer she wore to the inaugural balls 4 years ago. The first couple enjoyed their first dance at the star-studded event. Reporting in Washington, Renee Marsh.
And I was actually on hand to cover the inauguration for WVTT yesterday. And Jeff, what an exciting day it was. The energy of that crowd was unmatched by any event that I've ever attended. You can see there I am standing in front of the Capitol in my nice WVTT jacket, repping it for WVTT. And we have some other video of just the amount of people that were here at this inauguration. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people packing the mall, and they all were waving American flags. And it really was just one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. Jeff.
Glad you're able to be there. It sounds exciting. And Alexa's photos and videos, some of them are posted on Facebook. That's facebook.com/WVTT News. Well, now it's time for the work to get underway in the nation's capital. Budget talks continue to be front page news. Congressman Tom Reed says that it's important to get a budget together because the people of the nation need something that they can depend on at this time. Here's audio of Congressman Reed.
If we don't put a budget together that outlines the Senate and the House ideas on how we're going to solve the insolvency of Social Security and Medicare and do nothing when they collapse, that means people that are relying on Medicare and Social Security will not have Social Security and Medicare to rely on because it will be insolvent and bankrupt.
Meanwhile, as the weather continues to worsen, the elderly population is at risk. With more on that story, let's go live to the WVTT Digital Newsroom, where WVTT's Valerie Tysander joins us live. Valerie, what do the elderly need to do to be aware during these cold temperatures?
Yeah, Jeff, Old Man Winter, it seems, has finally reared his head, and when I was out there today, everyone I saw was bundled up, rushing to get somewhere where it was a little warmer than outside. And so in these times, it's very important to remember that some people may need a little extra help.
When winter hits, and it does hit pretty hard in Western New York, we actually try to be proactive.
Kathy McKay, the director of Cattaraugus County Department of Aging, says this can be a particularly dangerous time of year for older adults.
Take an extra minute to really look out for the older adults of Cattaraugus County, for your neighbors that you know are senior citizens. We live in an area where, unfortunately, some folks have to decide whether they're going to pay for heating their home or buying food.
And if you aren't careful, prolonged exposure to the cold can bring on hypothermia.
That can come on and you don't even know it.
The hard thing about hypothermia, it affects your ability to think clearly.
If you can't think clearly, then you're not thinking about these warning signs.
The warning signs include stiff muscles, shivering, a stomach that's cold to the touch, exhaustion, memory loss, a puffy face, slurred speech, and general fogginess. And it's even more important to be on the lookout if you're an older adult.
You might be on prescription drugs that affect those side effects.
But Cattaraugus County has several services that older adults can use to help limit their exposure to the frigid temperatures. Dan Horn Pharmacy and Health Services near Food Barn in Olean offers free prescription delivery services if you live in Olean. They deliver medication on Tuesday and Friday, but they say when it gets this cold, make sure you aren't running low. If it's a little too cold to venture outside to go grocery shopping, the Department of Aging also has a Meals on Wheels program that runs Monday through Friday.
Now they're getting a daily check by volunteers. Those volunteers go to the home every day, they deliver the meal, they see face to face that person. It's not, I deliver the meal on the porch, I leave, I go home. They hand it to that person, they make sure that they're okay.
And the Department of Aging does say that on days like today, when those temperatures are really cold, they do close the Meals on Wheels program. But thanks to a fundraiser, a lot of the elderly who do use that program have a little stash of food on hand, but they do just emphasize, just give those elderly people that you know a call, make sure they're doing okay and they don't need anything. In the WVTT Digital Newsroom, I'm Valerie Tysaner. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Val, and try to keep warm. We do have numerous winter weather advisories posted throughout our viewing area. One in McKean and Potter counties in Pennsylvania calling for wind chills as low as 0. Other wind advisory wind chill warnings saying that the wind chills could reach into the -10 to -15 range. And WVTT Severe Weather Action Team meteorologist Jim Rinaldi says the favored snow bands could produce snow well in excess of 3 inches. So be aware of that as well, particularly in the north and western parts of our viewing area. Also want to point out our go bags are packed. WVTT's Operation Snowflake standing by should conditions warrant tomorrow morning here on News Channel 25 and also on our sister radio station. That's News Radio 96.7 WVTT. Alexa?
Well, Jeff, a car spun off the road and into a building on Monday in Cattaraugus County. The car went off the road on West Perimeter Road in Steenburg and hit the former Richardson Smoke Shop building. No one was hurt in the accident. WVTT reached out to the Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office for more information, but our calls were not returned. And another crash, this one happening in Allegheny near Duggan & Duggan General Contractors this afternoon. No one was at home at the time of the crash. Now, authorities say a driver lost control of his vehicle, crashing into the side of this model home. You can see there's a big hole right in the side of the house. No one was reportedly hurt in the accident on 7th Street in Allegheny, but the driver of the vehicle was taken to the hospital to get checked out. Allegheny Fire Department was on hand. They say that they believe it was the slippery road conditions that led to the accident, Jeff.
The demolition of the Southside Rose Apartments in Alfred is expected to begin this month. The apartment buildings were the site of a November 11th explosion caused by a ruptured gas line. Officials say rebuilding is a possibility only after the building's owner successfully completes the proper process.
A Ripley man is facing a DWI charge after he was pulled over on Monday night. According to state police, 32-year-old Craig Copto was driving without his headlights on in an uninspected car. He was also drinking behind the wheel. Copto will return to court on February 11th.
Flames heavily damage a home in McKean County last evening. Firefighters from Kane and Mount Jewett were called out around 6 o'clock Monday evening to a home at 422 Chase Street in Kane. A faulty wood stove pipe is being blamed for the fire, with damage estimated at around $65,000, including contents. The renters who occupied that home were not injured.
A Kane man suffered minor injuries in a two-vehicle accident on Monday afternoon on Route 321 in Jones Township. According to police, 59-year-old Robert Moore Jr. drove his SUV across the center line and struck a tractor-trailer. Jeff?
A Pittsburgh man is in the McKean County Jail facing charges tonight. Weston Fritzley is charged with breaking into a house on Marion Avenue in Bradford. Police say he broke in and took several items from that home, including 2 bottles of alcohol and an outdoor thermometer. Still to come tonight on Twin Tiers Evening News, our first look at a chilly WVTT Severe Weather Action Team forecast. Also coming up, our global news update and the WVTT Wall Street wrap-up, all straight ahead here on News Channel 25 WVTT.